Rui Antonio Shinzaki is a young man who lives alone in a small apartment in Japan. He used to be a skilled kickboxer, but he had problems with criminals. He is no longer living that way. He does different kinds of work, like delivering and picking up items. He has no phone and lives simply. He finds a job taking care of a parking lot. He took the place of an old man who left. Antonio starts the job and falls asleep because he only watches cars. Then, he's surprised when a girl visits him, acting like they've been friends forever. She walks up to him and starts talking excitedly. He understands she can't see and thinks she believes he's her elderly friend. She doesn't know the old man is gone and keeps talking to Antonio. Antonio was too surprised to do anything. She gives him an orange and a bun. Antonio gets the items. She brought food for herself and bread for him. She also got him some drinks. After a short time, she smells something different and knows it's not her friend. Antonio says the old man is gone. The girl asks Antonio why he takes the food so strangely. He gives everything back because she explains how she and the old man watched TV together in the cabin. She says sorry for the mix-up and leaves with her cane. She feels the rain falling. Because she cannot get back inside, Antonio sees this and asks her to come in. She says yes to the offer, and they watch her show. Antonio watches her carefully listen to the TV show. After the show, she thanks him with bread and tells him to remember to water the tea olive plant that the old man loved. Antonio is in agreement. Her visit still makes him smile. After that, he showers and goes to his room next door. He cleaned up the mess the old man made. He eats the bread that the girl gave him. He gives water to the tea olive plant. At home, she makes breakfast with bacon, toast, and salad. She lives by herself and makes her own meals. She helps customers on the phone. She handles difficult customers very calmly. Her coworker comforts her when a customer upsets her. Her boss bothers her and makes her feel uneasy. She stays quiet because she doesn't want to lose her job. Antonio joins a kickboxing club where he once practiced. He came to say sorry for what he did. They fired him from the club because he was involved in a crime. Jin's coach is happy to see him, but the club owner is still upset and unwilling to accept his apology. Jin encourages Antonio to join the club again, but Antonio is unsure. The club owner tells Jin to put on his gloves and fight again. Antonio says he's sorry and explains he only came to apologize, not to rejoin the club. Later, he calls one of the women to make peace. He had hurt her husband before. She wants him to stop calling because she has forgiven him. Antonio returned to work and saw the blind girl passing by in the parking lot. He wants her to come inside. He feels uncomfortable asking her to come in. Luckily, she appeared and asked if the old man was back. Antonio gives her back the lunchbox and thanks her for the good bread yesterday. Again she smells the sweet scent of tea olive flowers. They sit together and watch the show. A bad smell bothers her as she watches. She asks him to leave the windows open. The bad smell stays, so she asks if he's sweating because he worked out. He is embarrassed to learn the smell is from his smelly shoes. He feels uncomfortable and out of place. She says she can hear and smell well. She says she knows people by their smell and voice. She wants him to tell her what the main female character on the TV show looks like. He pretends the woman has her earrings to make her happy. She is thrilled, and he likes seeing how happy this small coincidence makes her. After that, he gives her peaches. Her name is Akari Kashiwagi. He shakes her hand. She feels his rough, working hands. She asks to come again next week, and he says yes. She is home, eating peaches and washing clothes. Water overflows because clothing blocks the drain. Akari stood up to look, but she slipped and hurt her leg. Antonio waits nervously in the parking lot office, listening for the tap of Akari's cane. She finally got there, and she immediately smelled his new shoes. They sit to watch their usual TV show. In the TV show, the main character says she loves the hero. Akari asks Antonio if the hero looks good. Antonio thinks the hero is handsome but also a player. Akari jokes and asks Antonio if he's attractive, telling him to answer truthfully. Antonio doesn't know what to say. Akari jokes he may look less handsome if he thinks too hard. She says that being pretty is not important, but having a kind heart is. Yes, she is charming. He likes her, but he doesn't realize it. Akari walks away and a car almost hits her. Her leg hurts more, so he is taking her to the hospital. Her feet are wrapped, so walking is hard for her. Returning, she asks him his name. He doesn't want to answer because he has an English name, not a Japanese one, so she calls him uncle or old man instead. Antonio helps her when walking is hard. She tells him he'll be sorry, but he goes ahead anyway. He walks her home. Her house is at the top of the stairs, and she reminds him she told him about this. He carefully helps her stand. Work done with passion. She asks for one more thing. Please unclog her drain. Antonio tries to move, but notices her underwear is stuck in the drain, and she feels ashamed. She gives him 2 concert tickets to thank him. She invites him to see the show with someone. Antonio stays quiet. She wants to go with him because she knows he is lonely. Akari prepares for the concert and puts on a pretty dress. She worries a lot about what to wear and changes clothes right before leaving. At the concert, she asks Antonio to explain the musicians. She loves the concert, but he feels awkward. After that, they eat dinner. She's excited to eat at a barbecue restaurant. She's always wanted to go. She drops meat and gets a stain on her shirt. She is trying to tidy it. She talks about her life, including studying sculpting in college. She remembers coming to this restaurant with her parents long ago, and never imagined it would only be a memory. Later, he cannot respond. She asks what he does outside of work, and he says he delivers things, acting like he's elderly. She teases him, asking if he's divorced or cheating, but he doesn't answer. She understands he didn't like the joke. He asks her, "Why does knowing my past matter to you?" Akari says she wants to learn more about him. He is mean, so she leaves. He drives her home, and she says sorry for tiring him out. In the end, he says his name is Antonio. She was surprised to learn he was only 24. He also says he used to be a kickboxer, but he has a criminal record. He tells her, "I'm not good at talking." She stays calm. She says thank you again and enters. The following day, her boss asked her to come to his office. He gives her a birthday gift, but she tries to refuse it. She said he gave her concert tickets before. He really wants her to have this gift, which is a necklace. He stares at her because she can't see him, and asks her to go out with him. But another employee stopped him, asking Akari to take a call from a key customer. Akari feels better and goes away. His coaches will ask him to box again. Antonio says no nicely, but his coach tries to change his mind. When Antonio's coach first saw him fighting in small, local competitions, he believed Antonio could become a world champion. Antonio says he was in jail for 3 years. He used to be a gangster for Tsukumo's group, a cruel loan shark who hurt or killed people who didn't pay him back. Antonio did the boss's illegal and violent jobs, hurting people who turned against the group, but now he's been caught and is in jail. His coaches were surprised to learn this. Antonio goes to the orphanage where he used to live. The nun who took care of him is happy to see him. She asks him if he no longer works with criminals. He shows her the mark on his hand from when he removed the gang's tattoo. She feels better and wants him to smile often. She gives him a bow for his hair, which the orphans made, and asks him to give it to someone special. He remembers growing up there with Tsukumo, who would make him beat up other kids. Antonio began to believe good people are foolish and powerless because of Tsukumo. Akari arrives home from work and finds her boss waiting. He enters without permission, even though she told him to stay out. He stares closely and sees she didn't open his present. He pushes her onto the couch and puts the necklace on her. She tries to get him off and scratches him. He starts to harm her. She stops the alarm, but he continues to hurt her. Suddenly, Antonio enters and hits the boss. Akari yells for Antonio to stop, but he only stops after hurting his finger badly as a warning. Akari is upset and asks Antonio why he didn't stop when she told him to. She is concerned about her job security. This upsets Antonio because he can't understand why she wants to return to that job. She is sad that it's hard for blind people to get jobs. She plans to go back to work tomorrow like everything is normal. Antonio will take care of her. She tells him to go, and he leaves, putting the hairbow on the table. Antonio is sad and alone, and Akari is too, but she will surprise him soon by visiting him in the parking lot. She quit her job and wants to travel. He enjoys driving, so they are taking a trip to the beach near a wind farm. Antonio says he walked here with his mom. His mother tried to kill them both, but he lived. Akari listens carefully to him. She asks him to find sea glass at the beach. He gives her a piece, and she lets him feel how smooth it is. She says pain can make people nicer, and gives him the sea glass to remember their shared experience. Antonio starts kickboxing again, and trains hard. He gets Akari a puppy, and they are very happy together. He calls her Suku and helps fix her house. He opens the windows, and she feels the warm sunlight on her hands. She wants to know what his face looks like, so she touches it carefully with her hand, like a sculptor does. She asks him to look into her eyes. He's too stressed to meet her gaze, but she keeps trying. Then they share a kiss. Antonio starts winning kickboxing matches and trains very hard. Akari starts sculpting and making pottery again with great enthusiasm. They live together now with their dog, Suku. Akari creates beautiful cups and pitchers. She learns about massage from a book and practices on Antonio. She touches the scar on his hand and asks if he got burned there. He is lying, it's not a burn. Antonio tells her she doesn't need to work as a masseuse. He will win games and make money to open a pottery shop for her. She feels moved, so they hug. Antonio will win the next kickboxing match easily, but he doesn't know his old boss and childhood friend, Tsukumo, is waiting for him. Tsukumo insults Antonio's coach, but Antonio tells his coach to stay out of it. He makes it clear he wants nothing to do with Tsukumo, and then they go. The next day, Akari shows Antonio her parents' grave. 4 years ago, she and her parents were happy because she passed her driving test. They were driving away, happy, when she saw someone on fire falling from a building. The sudden jolt made her lose control. The car crashed and turned over. Antonio is shocked to hear her. That's when he sees when her parents died on their tombstone. He was hurting the man who had betrayed Tsukumo that day. The man set him on fire. Antonio understands he caused the car accident that blinded Akari and killed her parent. Antonio can't believe this terrible news, and he's heartbroken to learn that Akari feels responsible for her parents' death. He feels even more guilty when she says her dead parents must have led her to him. He tries to lessen his pain by training hard. Suddenly, Akari's eyes hurt. Tsukumo tries to convince Antonio to fight in an illegal match for a large cash prize. Antonio says no and leave. When he gets home, Akari is gone, and he becomes very worried. He hurries to the hospital and is happy Akari is okay. The doctor says she passed out and hurt her ribs. Her retina is also detached, and she needs surgery to prevent complete vision loss. Sad, Antonio goes home. The nun says the children are building a music box. She asks him for his favorite song to create one for him, but Antonio is preoccupied with his past mistake. The nun tells him they are forgiven. He doesn't believe he has been forgiven. He thinks he causes bad luck for people near him. The nun says he can't undo the past, but helping the poor can make his life better now. She also tells him he should forgive himself. Antonio then asks Akari why she didn't mention the surgery. He offered to pay for her operation, but she explained that she believed her blindness was a fair consequence for causing her parents' death in the accident. He tells her not to miss seeing her future family. He gets her to have the operation. Antonio comes home and is shocked to find the gang's symbol painted on Akari's door. He goes to Tsukumo to protect Akari, pretending they broke up. Tsukumo will let him go if he wins the last fight. Tsukumo pays him a lot of money up front. He gives the money to his upset coach, saying Antonio will box illegally again. He persuades the coach to pay for Akari's surgery when he gets the remaining prize money. He destroys all photos and documents about himself at home. Tsukumo leads him to the hidden boxing arena. In this contest, you can only win if the other person passes out or dies. Antonio starts strong, but then his opponent gets faster and beats him badly. He trips and is about to lose, but Antonio suddenly rallies and quickly defeats his opponent. Even Tsukumo was surprised that Antonio won. He was hurt and bleeding, but he saw his coach cheering him on. Akari is now healed from her operation and can see again. Tears fill her eyes because she understands now. The coach tells Antonio that his winnings will pay for Akari's surgery and help the man's widow he hurt. Antonio is happy to hear from his coach that Akari can see again. After confessing, he felt free, but Tsukumo ran him over and stabbed him. The consequence for betraying his organization is punishment. Akari now knows she doesn't love him anymore. Also, she must leave because they are rebuilding the building. Antonio sends her a package, a music box that plays their song. She notices it's from the orphanage, so she goes there. She understands her identity and explains that he left because he feels responsible for the accident and the death of her parent. Akari becomes very upset. She remembers Antonio as she creates art in her new home. Now, Akari owns a pottery studio and shop. 2 years later, Suku is all grown up now. Akari also helps people by giving massages at a local rehab center. She is good at helping patients there. She meets a young man who cannot move his body. She doesn't know he's the one, but Antonio knows who she is right away. However, he pretends to be someone else when she starts to massage him. She feels like she knows him, even though his name is not what she expects. When she goes, Antonio cries because he is very sad. After a few days, Antonio felt better and could walk using crutches. He sees a shop called Antonio. He is interested, so he goes inside. He sees a tea olive plant and buys it. "Let's go, Antonio. What a strange coincidence." He sees a music box in the shop. He knows it and plays the song Akari often hummed. He starts crying, remembering their happy times together. He picks up the plant and goes away. Suku sees him leaving and chases after him. Antonio trips, so Akari rushes to assist him. She knows he's the man from the hospital and wants to give him a ride, but he says no. When Akari arrives at her shop, the salesgirl tells her that a customer cried while hearing the song. She finally understands that the person on crutches Suku was following is Antonio. She looks for him everywhere, but she can't find him. Antonio went to the beach by the windmills. He is walking in the ocean with the sea glass. He hears his name and turns to see Akari. The moment we've all been waiting for is here. Akari brings him to her place, holds his face, and asks him to look at her. She's glad he's back, and he says she feels like home. They hugged and cried.